Hey folks, welcome to another edition of Mark Isaac Potter Presents. We're visiting today episode number 2 with Ben Davis of Chill Subs. Ben, what would you like to say to the public? I talked
It's
a lot in that first one. See,
yeah. I mean, completely out of context. I'm not sure.
hey, I'm an absurdist. I like people like Daniil Karms, who you probably have heard of, but maybe not, a Russian absurdist writer from the early 1900s is one of my big inspirations. Him and Beckett, of course. And
Sure.
anyway, so yeah, if you don't, you could say something like, "Well, my dog is green and has 12 legs," and or whatever you want to say. But I just want to give you a voice because this is not about me coming on here and chattering and having you listen to it, for God's sakes.
No, no. Well, is there anything that you're curious about with what we do?
Well, that's why in the first show I said I hope you come on now and then because I have a list as long as if I was going to shop at Costco. But I believe in repetition a lot. I'm going to repeat something I said in show number 1. The way you guys are doing what you're doing. And not something is helping the success, and you said it's probably because you're keeping your personalities out of it. Now, that's probably true, but the way you're doing it is so pristine and sterling or something like that. And I found the site so helpful when I used to go through it. Even as differentiated as people who groups like yours who started before you, who were trying to be the best. You guys just came along and just did what I perceived as and do perceive as the best job. So, uh, yeah, and we already, I don't know. I just find it really, I mean, I've been published a lot of times. And of course, it takes, you know how it is, 20, 30, 40, 50 submissions to get one. So, I used to be on there every day. Uh, how do you how do you find the groups and especially new magazines? I mean, some of them that start are so small they can't put out a blast saying we're here now. So, and you do everybody from around the world, as I remember. How in God's name do you find them in the first place?
Uh, so so the way that Chill Subs has gone, I think one of the reasons why um, is we're very responsive. So we're very responsive to our audience, and we're very responsive to changing vibes, I suppose, kind of in the industry. So because we have built it all with our like small team and built it all ourselves, so it's kind of just in the context of this. Everything started with us manually going and finding magazines. So we would go and just manually find them and collect them and add them into the database. And then we also had a community element where people could recommend listings to us. So we've grown very much in the community and with the community. So a lot of writers have helped us along the way. A lot of editors have helped us. And because of the platform we've created, it's the place where a lot of editors want their magazines to be listed. So for example, we have over 1,000 editors who manage their magazines on Chill Subs. So we don't even like manage them; they host them. We have a full-time person who their only job is managing the data on Chill Subs and gathering new magazines and making sure that our data is correct and adding all of the calls, along with a lot of like technical things that we've slowly built up over the years. But it started originally with Karina and me just manually adding at all of the magazines we could think of, because when it started, Karina had a spreadsheet of all the magazines she was submitting to, and then when I came on, I had a spreadsheet of all of the magazines I was submitting to. So we were pulling from our own
Oh,
data and like spreadsheets. And so that was kind of how it started. And at some point in time, there was a shift where now, usually, if somebody creates a literary magazine and then they want to promote it, people tell them to go to Chills Up. So one of the first things magazines do now is they come and add themselves on Chill Subs.
mm,
So we are continuing to expand outwards, and we are also a little different than somewhere like Duotrope, whereas like for us, we also are concerned about magazines that you can pitch to. So like New York Times, Huffington Post, The Guardian, Atlantic, that kind of thing. So
okay.
we are, and that market is very big. So we are always expanding. We are always kind of like expanding outward in the magazines that we're gathering. But a lot of it comes down to like we have people on our browse. There's the search bar, and then there's a little plus sign. And people click that and they recommend us magazines. And so we check them against our database, and then we go and we add in all of their information. So it's a lot of community building. Like that's a lot of how we were able to grow and gather all of the information. And then again, at a certain point in time, we're also a platform for editors. So a lot of editors in on Chill Subs, there's a whole section for editors that other people don't see, where they manage their whole listing pages.
Yeah, almost
So
like a back office kind of thing, or
yeah, yeah.
right. So I didn't hear you respond to whether or not you're willing to come on in the future. I want to get something. I want to get a contract here.
Oh,
Because
sure.
we got family, you know what I'm talking about?
Course. If it's at 8 to 10 minutes, you want to, hop on a call, and I can usually do that. My weeks are very, very filled with
Yeah.
meetings, and I don't usually take any meetings on Friday. It's just the only times
Oh,
that
okay.
I had. But if you wanted to set up something that was like 15 minutes during the week sometime, once a month, I would come on and chat with you for like 15 minutes about kind of like what we're doing, and if you have
Okay.
something you want to talk about, like
Right.
that would be
Well,
great.
yeah. Okay. Well, like I said, I've got such a long list in my head about things I want to know. Someday I want to do what is our standard first meeting, which is a series of 6 questions like where you from and what kind of brought you to do this and that stuff. But we'll get that done one of these days. Once a month sounds good. And again, for God's sakes, please forgive me if I mess up because I have my audience hears it more than you've heard it. I have 11 disabilities, but I also have really serious dementia at this point. So, and that poor lady yesterday, I still trying to. Well, the other thing I'm doing lately, and let me get your input on this, and then we'll shut this down because we're looking at 10 minutes here already, I think. Uh, I'm starting to do kind of advise me too. I do way different bunch of kind of shows, super eclectic, a lot of shows, just me and my disabilities. But I want to do a little series that I call in my, how's that phrase go? In my humble opinion, where I
Sure.
just talk about some group, a business, a missionary, a literary magazine, where I don't give a lot of information about them, but I just promote them in a way that hopefully is successful and acceptable without them having to review the video because everybody's so busy. If I want to promote, Joey's canned beans or Sarah's piano repair in Mazatlan, I can just come on and do it in my humble opinion and talk about it generally and promote it a little bit. And I don't give your contact information, I just give mine. And that way, if somebody wants to be in touch, we can do that. But would that be acceptable to do with chill subs?
Sure, yeah, feel free.
I just want to get just like a little survey. Well, folks, that's 2 10-minute shows with Ben. We'll try to get him on again most months, and God bless you and your group for what you're doing there, Ben. And we'll see you next time, bro.
Sounds good.
Take
Thanks, Mark. It
care.
was great to
Take
meet
care.
you.
Bye bye.